in the fierceness of his anger.
And the Bible says, who can abide in what? In the fierceness of the Lord's anger. Who's going to abide in it? Anybody have Bible? I want to get Isaiah 55, 66. Bring that out.
The book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 15.
Read.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire.
He said, behold, the Lord will come with what?
With fire.
He said, behold, the Lord will come with fire. Read.
And with his chariots like a whirlwind.
He said, behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Read.
To render his anger with fury.
To render his what?
His anger with fury.
He said, the Lord will come with fire to render his anger with fury. Read.
And his rebuke with flames of fire.
He said, and his rebuke with what?
Flames of fire.
He said, his rebuke will be with flames of fire. See, God is coming to kiss. Where the kissing doctrine come from? Where the hug up doctrine and the Lord comes to hug me and we all going to feel good when he come? No. The Bible said the day of the Lord is a day of darkness. Somebody give me Zephaniah 1 and 14. Read. Continue that.
For by fire and by his sword.
He said, by fire and by his sword, read.
Will the Lord plead with all flesh.
He said, by fire and by his sword will the Lord what? Will the Lord plead with all flesh. Read.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
He said, the slain of the Lord shall be what?
Shall be many.
He said, by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. He said, the slain of the Lord shall be what?
Many.
Shall be many. That's why Ezekiel said he saw many in the open valley, boy. Read.
They that sanctify themselves.
They that what?
Sanctify themselves.
They that sanctify themselves.
And purify themselves.
And purify themselves. Falsely pretending you're purifying yourself in false religion. Praying to a false God. A God where your forefathers know not of. Read.
In the gardens behind one tree.
You say in the garden behind one tree, that tree represents what? It represents what? It represents a church or a philosophy. You're all into that. And you forget the God of the Bible is who grow you up from small. Read.
In the midst, eating swine's flesh.
In the midst, go eating what?
Swine's flesh.
The Lord said in the midst, eating swine flesh. Every day they said they celebrate Christmas, eating the swine flesh, which is an abomination unto the Lord. Read.
And the abomination.
And what the Lord call it?
And the abomination.
The Lord called eating pig an abomination unto the Lord. Read.
And the mouse.
And the what?
And the mouse.
Eating man is an abomination in the Lord, because the Lord that in the Bible, the Lord called it the mouth. And the mouth. Read.
Shall be consumed together.
Shall be what?
Consumed together.
Shall be consumed together. The Lord said all who doing this thing shall be consumed together. You know, eating these things. The Bible gave us dietary laws. In the Levitical law of Moses, gave us dietary laws where we should live by. Read.
Thus said Yahweh.
Thus said Yahweh. Go ahead. Let it on that. Let it on that.
There is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 8.
Go ahead.
And Elijah.
And who?
Elijah.
And Elijah
took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the our starter.
Nah, I want to start with Chariots come.
We'll continue.
Yeah, I can.
We'll continue. Alright? This is 2 Kings 2 and 8. And Elijah took his mantle.
And the Bible says Elijah took his mantle. Go ahead.
And wrapped it together.
And wrapped it together. Wrapped it around him. Go ahead.
And smote the waters.
He said he's wrapped it together and he smite the water of the Jordan. Read.
And they were divided hither and thither.
And the Bible says it parted as a scroll. Read.
So that they too went over on dry ground.
So because they all and they too went over what? On dry ground. That is Elijah and Elisha, the servant. Read.
And it came to pass.
And it what?
Came to pass.
And it came to pass. Well,
when they were gone over.
He said, and it came to pass when they were gone over. Read.
That Elijah said unto Elisha.
That Elijah said unto Elisha.
Ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee.
You see, this part of the scripture, this is very spiritual. This is very spiritual. They are very spiritual part here. Listen to this part here. Elijah tell Elisha, he said, now as the water is parted and the spirit of the Lord is real, ask the Lord what you want him to do for you. Read.
And Elisha said, I pray thee,
He said, and Elisha said, I pray thee,
let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
he said, let a what?
Double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
A double portion or a double portion of the Holy Spirit be upon him. And that should be our prayers, right? That is why we're going down in the days of fasting, because why? We want that double portion of the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
If we don't ask for that, we're not going in the chariot. But your faith had to reach out to go to the Lord, not so?
That's right.
Read.
And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing, nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if
Hold on, and you know what he meaning of that? You know what he meaning of this part?
And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing, nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee.
What the Lord said? Keep your eyes on the prize and look up, your redemption draweth nigh. So you can't look away. You have to keep your eyes on the prize and look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. That is what it's saying here. If you all them understand it, you understand it tonight. Read.
It shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so.
Well,
And it came to pass,
well,
as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire.
a chariot of what?
Fire,
A chariot fire, fire unfolding. This thing coming down and chariot unfolding. Well,
and horses of fire,
and it looked like horses coming with fire. Read.
and parted them both asunder.
And he parted them asunder, hither and thither. One was scooped up and the other one remained.
When they show you in movies like them fighter just coming down, or whether it be, you know, like you have a torch, you understand? And the water just passing over.
Yeah, even when something coming into the Chariots is a living power, is a power source. Like from the spirit of power, you have a should try. Right? You have
Right? And parted them both asunder, and Elijah
I return heat.
and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into
And Elijah went
heaven.
up by a what?
Whirlwind into heaven.
Yeah, and the chariot took him away and he went up into heaven by a whirlwind, which is a chariot, into heaven, into the spiritual realm.
I just want to add to that because in Mark, when
You have something more? Right, you have something more? Bring out the precept. Brother.
yeah, just to add, you know, in Mark, in the book of Mark, when you know, take as a Peter.
So like, brother, if you have a question to ask it,
Yeah, it's Peter.
listen, here what not to do. Don't stand there and try to figure it out. Don't try to figure it out. You can't figure it out. You have to ask a question. That is what it's here for, to ask a question. People just come and watch you stand and try to figure. You can't figure this out. This has been divinely revealed to you by the Holy Spirit. You can't figure this thing out. Really.
Yeah.
That's why we look strange. We look strange to everybody because you never see this before. This is a strange thing. Because it's a strange God we serve. Read.
Nah, I was expounding on something. Yeah, continue expounding on what I was saying, right? In Mark, the book of Mark, when Yahushua take Peter and James and then they're going up on the mountain, then a cloud come over the mountain, which we know was a chariot, and it had Elisha and Moses was in the chariot. So when Peter and James saw Yahushua walk up to the mountain, Yahushua transfigure and turn it into a taller stature. So let us show you when Elijah was getting bring up from the chariot, he was getting transfigured from that flesh into the extraterrestrial body to go up, because you can't go up in that chariot flesh. You understand? So when Elijah was getting big up, because Elijah actually come back and meet Yahushua. Elijah come back and meet Yahushua when he went up and when Yahushua went and meet him up on the mountain, he and Moses. You understand? So Elijah was had that spiritual, that extraterrestrial body when he come to meet him on the mountain.
Come in front. Come right there.
When Elijah went up into the chariot of heaven and he parted from Elisha, what happened to Elisha?
Elisha became the prophet now. Because the first prophet was Elijah, that was taken away. Elisha was his apprentice. So he was preparing Elisha to take his place, to be the prophet as he gone. So just as how Yahweh Shai is no more with we as the prophet of the Lord in this time, is a representation of Yahweh Shai, which is Jesus Christ on earth. As it is with Yahweh Shai, that is his name.
Because some we ask, well, if I continue reading here, go on, say more clear.
Bring it out.
Right? So continuing in 2 Kings 2, but are going down now.
Listen to.
Right? 2, but are going down, are continuing from 12. And Elisha, I read over 11. 2 Kings 2, and I read it over verse 11. Right? And it came to pass as they still went on and talked that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire.
A chariot of what?
Fire.
The Bible says, behold, there appeared what? A chariot of fire. Go ahead.
And horses of fire, and parted them both asunder.
So one was taken up, the other one remained, because he had was to carry on the work of Elijah. Read.
And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
Go ahead.
And Elisha saw it.
And Elisha what?
Saw it.
And Elisha saw it because Elisha kept his eyes on the prize. He looked up because he knew his redemption draweth nigh too. Read.
And he cried, my father,
well,
the chariot of Israel.
The chariot of what?
Israel.
The chariots of Israel. What he saw was a UFO. But they don't have the word UFO in the Bible. They have the word chariot because that is what it is. Read.
Right. And the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more.
And he what?
He saw him no more.
And he saw him no more. Read.
And he took hold on his own clothes and rent them in 2 pieces.
You say he took hold on his own clothes and what?
Rent them in 2 pieces.
He said he rent them in 2 pieces. Go ahead.
He took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell from him.
Which represents a representation of the Holy Spirit falling on us in this time. Which is a representation of this knowledge here. The truth. Read well.
That was a spiritual symbol for Elijah handing over his how you say the torch.
Yeah, Elisha. Exactly. Yeah, you read it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Keep it. Read.
And he took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell from him, and went back and stood by the bank of Jordan.
And he went up and stood by the what?
Bank of Jordan.
He went and stood by the bank of Jordan. Read.
And he took the mantle of Elijah that fell from him and smote the waters and said, where is the Lord Yahweh power of Elijah?
He said, where is the Lord Yahweh power of Elijah? He said, where is that same power of Elijah? So if he smite the Jordan, read.
Right? And when he also had smitten the waters, they parted hither and thither, and Elisha went over.
But now when he saw the water roll back at the scroll, then he realized now that that same God that was with Elijah is with him now. That's why every Saturday we come out here in Sawa, we come out here with no fear. Because we know we're standing on holy ground and there are angels all around. We call it this sermon. And if anything should come up against us, the Bible says when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord raises a standard against it. That is why we do what we do out here with no fear. Let me bring it out first. Let's finish. All right, let me finish.
That's right. Let's finish and say a question, right? And when the sons of the prophets which were to view at Jericho saw him, they said, the spirit of Elijah do rest on Elisha.
You see what they said? The sons of Jericho, which is the other prophet, when they saw him, they said, but the spirit of Elijah, do rest on Elisha. So they witness of that. And the world today on YouTube, everybody, Israelites beginning to wake up on YouTube because of the gospel that is being preached right now to us. And the witness people are having that it is true. We are the prophets and we are the children of Israel.
And they came to meet him and bowed themselves to the ground before him.
And bowed themselves to the what?
To the ground before him.
And they came to meet him and bowed themselves to the ground to meet him. Ready, Akal?
And even just that was yeah, when they bowed themselves before him, that signified that Elisha did get the double portion that he asked for.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, concerning the apocrypha, right? The reason why they take out the apocrypha is because the apocrypha is actually clarifying what that scripture says, you understand? When they go into Ecclesiasticus 48 and they go to verse 8, it's actually saying, Ecclesiasticus 48 and verse 8 actually saying, who anointeth kings to take revenge and prophets to succeed after him. Right? They talk about Elijah, but you know the apocrypha will say different. Verse 10, it say who was ordained for reproofs in their times. Verse 9, right? It say who was taken up in chariots of fire, who was taken up in a chariot in a whirlwind of fire in the fiery horses. Right? It say I'll jump to verse 12.
read it over again.
Yeah, I'll read it over.
Yeah. Well, no.
I will expound on this now.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
There's Ecclesiasticus 48 and I'll start from 9.
Go ahead.
It says who was taken up in a whirlwind of fire.
Start from here to this one.
It says who anointeth kings to take reverence, to take revenge, and prophets to succeed after him.
Like question mark, right?
Right.
Right, go ahead.
It says who was taken up in a whirlwind of fire and in a chariot of fiery horses.
Who is that? That is Elisha.
Right?
Right, so
Yeah.
can't, because they just proven the apocrypha.
You can't.
Right? They just
Bible.
proven the apocrypha.
Because you want to say the same thing with the double
portion. Go ahead.
now, right?
Go ahead.
It say who was ordained for reproofs in their times to pacify the wrath of the Lord, of the Lord's judgment, before it break forth into fury, and to turn the heart of the Father unto the Son, and to restore the tribes of Jacob. Right? It says, blessed are they that saw thee and slept in love, for we shall surely live. Right? Then it go on to say, it says Elias was covered with the whirlwind.
Elias represented Elijah.
Right? With the whirlwind, and Eliseus,
Right,
Which is Elisha.
was filled with his spirit.
Was what?
Was filled with his
Was
spirit.
filled with the Spirit. So that goes to show, that just goes to prove
The
that
apocrypha.
the apocrypha is scriptural.
Can.
Alright? Who give you Edomites? Alright? Well, I wouldn't say the Catholic, because in the Roman Catholic Church, their Bible, it has the apocrypha, although they do not, I repeat, they do not read from the apocrypha, but they has it. Alright? But to you denominational churches, exclusive of the Roman Catholic Church, the Pentecostal, your Seventh-day Adventists, your Jehovah Wickedness, all these other churches, right? Who give you the authority, all right, to say that this is not scriptural, to say that this is not canonized. Not, the Mosai never how I go put it? He never talk anything about his scriptures being canonized. Because the word canonized goes into validation now, but we don't need your validation in the scriptures.
The Holy Spirit already validated.
Can't.
It's already validated by the Holy Spirit.
Can't.
You see, we don't need man's validation. We are already validated by the Holy Spirit. Can't?
That's right.
The scripture says that they choose the wise and the fool.
Can't. You know?
They choose the scholars and all these men who say
Yeah,
the Bible and give it their,
and tie.
Somebody has something there?
and give it their own private interpretation of the scripture.
Good now.
This is the book of Mark chapter 9 verse 1.
Good.
And he said unto them, verily I say unto you,
Surely I say unto you, good,
that there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste of death
why? Good.
till they have seen the kingdom of Yahweh cometh with power.
Cometh with power, and part of that is in chariot. Alright? Part of that is in chariots. You know what the chariot coming, the chariots being the salvation and the hope for the elect of Israel. Right? Because not all of us will see that. You know, when I say that all of us, not all of the elect of Israel, you know, let us pass. Not all of us will see that. Right? Some of us will see the salvation of Israel. Go ahead.
Right, verse 2. And after 6 days, Yahushua took with him Peter and James and John and leaded them up into the high mountains apart by himself. Apart by himself, and he was transfigured before them.
Yeah, so you feel it's a literal mountain? No, it's not a literal mountain. To prove it, somebody got from a second at just 13.
Yeah, I'm not here.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Bring it out. Let me see if it's a literal mountain I'm talking about now.
I can't say shaking up the line and keep it.
Yes, keep the order. Fall back a little bit.
Fall back a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 1. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamt a dream by night.
Alright, this is the most I'm given Ezra, which is really Ezra in the scriptures, a vision by dream. Well,
and lo, there arose a wind from the sea.
There arose a what?
A wind from the sea.
There arose a wind from the sea, and the sea is the people,
The
multitude of people. Alright? Not Maracas Beach. Right? Go ahead.
And it moved all the waves thereof.
Yeah, it moved all the waves thereof. Alright? Which again is the people, not Tyrico Bay. Well,
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
yeah,
We will not again.
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
That man was strong with the thousands of heaven. When you go back to Psalms 68 and 17, he said the chariots of God is 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord power of Israel is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place.
right? Go ahead. What up?
And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was seen under him.
Yeah, all the things, because this really going into World War III. When those nations, you know, after they done destroy America with thermal nuclear fire, right? It's when Yahushua will be making his return upon the face of the earth, and they're all going to put aside the grievances to do what? To fight against Yahushua and the angels. Alright, go ahead.
Right? And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth,
Go ahead.
all they burnt.
When what?
All they burnt.
We go back against that part against that.
Right? And whensoever the voice, right, went out of his mouth,
So that voice represents the laser beam.
I want to go to see that.
right, all they burnt that heard his voice.
Yeah, all they burn that heard his voice, which is the laser beams. Right? Which is the laser beams. You know, see it in the same words in what do you call it again? Wally Worlds and Independence Day. Right? We're seeing those so-called UFOs laying over the laser beams and blasting them fighter jets to smithereens. Yeah? Where up?
Right? Like as the earth faileth when he feeleth the fire.
Yeah,
That's
but
how they're gonna be, right?
yeah.
And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven.
Yeah, all these militaries. All these world militaries. Go ahead.
Russia, China, Iran, Iraq. Because now as America destroys, who is the next target? The Lord. They gotta stop it.
Because China feel they go rule.
Yeah, that is
Russia feel they go rule.
That is what they're heading for.
All these nations feel well they go have a chance at ruling. Right?
The angels of heaven, the angels of the Lord fight against
right,
each other.
Revelation 12. But well,
Right,
but when I done that, when I done them two, then we going back to Howard to I'm at half a holder, read. You go to Howard because that's when I prove something concerning the mountains now.
Alright, can't.
Go ahead.
Verse 6, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I beheld, and lo, he that braved himself a great mountain.
A great what?
Mountain.
So yeah, where you feel it is? You feel it's Mount Everest? No. A great mountain, go ahead.
Right? A great mountain, and flew upon it.
And flew. Now how the hell you flew in upon Mount Everest? Go ahead.
Right? But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not.
What?
I could not.
Right, so somebody get Baba Kosha go back again to the Revelation 1 and 7.
Revelation 1 and 7.
Yeah, Baba Kosha, anybody?
Let's show you the movie Independence Day. Wait
out, read.
Read that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 7.
What?
Behold, he cometh with clouds.
He cometh with clouds because the so-called UFOs, they just cloak themselves within the clouds. Alright? Sometimes they will make themselves fully manifest, which is fully known, fully seen, or sometimes they will hide themselves within the clouds. Written literal clouds, vapor clouds.
All you have to do is, all you have to do is look up Gina Maria Colvin on YouTube. I know you all have smartphones, so don't be as smart as and look over this thing.
Come on.
Look in your smartphone, look up Gina Maria Colvin, and you're going to see the Chariots, you're going to see it live.
Come on. Because what I want to say, what I was going to say, right?
Cloak yourself in the clouds.
Yeah, they just cloak themselves in the clouds. Alright? Sometimes they will make themselves all known, all visible. Alright? But anyhow, continue the scripture.
Yeah, continuing.
No.
Yeah. And every eye shall see him.
And every eye shall see him. Because remember, when you go back to that scripture, the same one we talk about the mountains.
Remember you talk again?
Yeah, that part, that's that part. Let me link it, I'll link it.
You see what I mean? Verse 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he that graved himself a great mountain.
He that graved himself a great mountain, which is the chariot, which is the so-called UFO, which is explaining it is a fathership. You know, in Hollywood they just talk about the mothership. No, they're the fathership. Go ahead.
And flew upon it.
Go ahead.
But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not.
And he could not because why? It was so big. The so-called UFO was so big, he could not see from where it started to where it ended. That is why when you go back to the Revelation 1 and 7, where it says, and every eye shall see him. Can you remember the other day, Elder Kazak? Is Kazak his name?
Which one is it?
From Nielsen is coming.
Yeah, Mississippi camp.
Right, Mississippi camp, where he was showing when NASA camera picked up the UFO passing over Earth. And it's 3 times the size of Earth. You watch it look like a little speck. Yeah? And this thing, big, way bigger than Earth, passing over Earth. Earth atmosphere. Right?
That one bigger than the sun.
Can. Yeah, NASA cameras pick it up.
That is we don't call them mothership, we say fathership.
Can. So
because the Lord himself is going to be flying upon that one.
Can.
Yeah, so that's a quick here.
Bring out that.
After you saw the thing, I want to go back to Howard.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 14,
Woo!
verse 19.
What?
And the angel of Yahweh, which went before the camp of Israel,
What?
removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel.
Right? Now there's one was coming out of the Egyptian captivity. You know, that chariot was being our protection. Alright? it was being a pillar of fire by night.
It was light to me.
And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one camp not near the other all the night.
Right? So it was darkness unto these Egyptians, but it was light unto us so we could see. Right? So we could see where we was going. But the other part where it was saying and it was a fire by night, and a pillar of cloud by day or something like that. So
and the pillar of cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. Right? And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel.
Yeah.
And it was a cloud and darkness to them, and it gave light by night to these.
Right? Because them time I got no street light and them kind of thing, and a sun or saying. So you know you'll be walking through pitch black. Right?
So that just are you walking through walls of water? So it have no light for you there. You walking blind, but the most I put the child for light for us to walk.
To guide us, to guide it through.
Because when we went through a land when no man ever walked before. Yeah, sir.
But go ahead.
Continuing in the book of Mark chapter 9, verse 3.
Go ahead.
And his raiment becomes shiny, exceedingly white as snow, so as no fella on earth can white them.
Jackal, get from my Acts 1 and I think it's 5 now.
And they appeared unto them Elisha with Moses, and they were talking with Yahushua. So where Elisha and Moses come out from? You know, from the chariot. You must go down there. Yeah. And they appeared unto them Elisha.
Not Elisha.
Elias.
So Elijah.
Right.
Remember the New Testament was written in Greek now, boy. So that's how they go spell it now, boy.
Well, and Elijah was the major prophet, because Elisha was just the apprentice.
Right. Unto them Elias with Moses, and they were talking with Yahushua. And Peter answered and said to Yahushua, Master, is it good for us to be here? Because when you see the presence of Yahushua, great men, you know, they was feeling coming, but they didn't get the Holy Spirit in them yet, so you don't understand and to think they was still shaky. You know, so they was kind of had the fright on them same way. So it say, go down and say, and let us make three, it say, let us make three tabernacle, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias, for in this west, not with what to say, for they were score afraid. You understand? So they were frightened. You understand? I'll go to the point here. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them. You know, so what was that cloud?
What was that cloud that overshadowed them? Like for instance,